On this episode of Motorsport Recently, we look back at the 6 hours of Silverstone, the Michelin GT Challenge at VAR, and the Pocono 500. Also, we discuss the F1 driver market in the run-up to the Belgian Grand Prix. This is Triple Crown Racing. Let's get into it. So last weekend we had the 6 hours of Silverstone. Toyota had taken victory in LMP1 at both the 6 hours of Spa and the 24 hours of Le Mans. You can watch my review of Le Mans I have a link to it in the description below. Basically no one watched it, so I'd like to get the views for that video up. Yeah, so Toyota were looking for their third win of the season at Silverstone. Now, since we have a lot of news to cover in this episode, I'm gonna make the race reviews extremely short, so bear with me. In qualifying, it was the number 7 Toyota on pole, followed by the sister car and the 2 SMP cars. What was extremely frustrating, though, is that Bruno Senna was injured during qualifying, which has made me question the safety of these new LMP1 cars. He's the second driver to be injured, and we had Pietro Fittipaldi breaking both of his legs at the Spa 6 hours. So, are these cars that safe? In LMP2, it was number 32nd Jackie Chan DC Racing on pole, followed by its sister car and the Signatech Alpine. In GTE Pro, it was the 66 Ford on pole, followed by the 2 Aston Martins, showing us that the FIA has actually fixed the Aston Martin's BOP. In GTE AM, it was the number 56 Project 1 car on pole, followed by the 77 Dempsey Proton car and the number 90 TF Sport Aston Martin. So the stage was set for a race. I'm not going to say awesome because it involves the 2018 LMP1 cars. Anyway, so the race went like this. It was a dominant performance from Toyota as basically the entire LMP1 field died with a crash in turn 1, meaning that the 2 Rebellions fell behind and also the number 11 SMP entry ran into problems. By that I mean technical problems because their engine blew up. In LMP2, Jackie Chan DC Racing also dominated, and in GTE Pro, the number 51 AF Corsa also dominated. Aston Martin were able to show their pace after a difficult start to the life of their new Vantage. However, they also ran into problems. In GTE AM, it was the ones to watch were TF Sport and Project 1 as they battled for the lead before both of them got significant penalties, giving the lead to the number 77 Dempsey Proton car. The race ended as expected with the number 8 Toyota winning, followed by its sister car and the number 3 Rebellion Racing Machine. In LMP2, it was the 38 and 37 Jackie Chan DC Racing cars winning, followed by the 36 Signatech Alpine. In GTE Pro, it was the number 51 AF Corsa, followed by the 67 Ford and the 92 Porsche. In GTE AM, it was the 77 Dempsey Proton car that won, followed by TF Sport and Project 1. So that was that, or was it? Within hours of the race finishing, both Toyotas were disqualified for a technical infringement, giving the win to the number 3 Rebellion Racing car. Naturally, there was an outcry throughout the Formula 1 community as their dear Fernando Alonso was out of the race. Sports car fans were happy that a privateer car has actually been able to win in this new era of LMP1 cars. Despite the fact that they didn't win on track, it's still good for them. Anyway, next up is Fuji, where we will all be reminded that Fernando Alonso is the centre of the universe. Till then. Over the weekend, depends when this video came out. It's probably last weekend by now. Over the weekend, we had the GT-only race at VIR. After Road America, the championship was closer than ever. The 67 Ford was leading the championship in GTLM, followed by the 3 Corvette and the 66 car. In GTD, it was the 48 Lamborghini leading, followed by the 86 Acura trailing by 18 points. At Road America, the number 25 BMW had lost the race because it ran out of fuel pretty much in the final laps of the race. They were looking for redemption coming into Virginia. In qualifying, it was the 67 Ford on pole, followed by the 911 Porsche and the 24 BMW. In GTD, it was the 15.3 GT Lexus on pole, followed by the Riley Mercedes number 33 and the 96 Turner BMW. So the stage was set for an awesome race. So early on, both the 67 Ford, the championship leader by the way, and the 911 Porsche both ran into problems, putting them out of the race. After having a crash with the GTD car and going to the back of the field, the 25 BMW showed incredible pace and good work during the pit stops and made its way to the front of the field. After one of the full course cautions, the BMW took off and controlled the race until the end. In the closing stages of the race, GTD heated up. The Magnus Racing Audi was leading when Jerome Blaker-Molen in the 33 Mercedes launched it up the inside only to be spun out. The 14.3 GT Lexus capitalized and went to the front. The Lexus came home to win, followed by the Wright Motorsport Porsche that got by the 86 Acura with a few corners to go. BMW has finally taken their first win with the new M8 GTE/GTLM, and 3GT did really well to win with their Lexus. The championship now looks like this. In GTLM, the 3 Corvette now has the lead of the championship, followed by the 67 Ford and the 66 car. In GTD, it's the 48 Lamborghini that leads the championship, but their lead has come down, and the 86 Acura is now slightly closer to them in the championship. It is getting very interesting as we get closer to Petit Le Mans. I don't need to say a lot about the race at Pocono, other than it was the race where Robert Wickens crashed. Now, this was a horrendous crash that red flagged the race for more than an hour. He's now in hospital and is most likely out for the rest of the season. In fact, as we came up to Gateway, Schmidt-Peterson actually withdrew his car from that race, and it probably will be withdrawn from the rest of the season. We all hope you recover, Robert, and get well soon. Anyway, after the race went back to green, the competition for the win was between Alexander Rossi and Will Power, and Scott Dixon and Marco Andretti battled for third and fourth. But it was Alexander Rossi that came home to win at Pocono. Annoyingly, I can't check the championship standings right now because it will spoil the results of Gateway, but the championship was closer than ever. So some interesting driver market news came out towards the run up to the Belgian Grand Prix. First of all, Carlos Sainz Jr. transferred from McLaren to fill Alonso's seat, which spices up an already very interesting driver market. Also, Force India has gone through a management change, obviously being taken over by Lance Stroll's father, which meant that their name has changed from Sahara Force India to Racing Point Force India, and have lost all their championship points. Also, it is expected that Lance Stroll will replace Esteban Ocon at Force India as early as the Italian Grand Prix, and that Robert Kubica will make his return to Formula One, replacing Lance Stroll at Williams. While it's cool that Kubica will get a race seat, it's annoying that Force India have lost their championship points and that Esteban Ocon is most likely out of Formula One, and in his place is someone with less talent but with more money, and that sucks. Anyway, Force India have had a good qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix, so Ocon may actually go out fighting. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Motorsport Recently. I'm sorry for the late upload, and I'm sorry it's kind of been hastily put together. I've had a lot of schoolwork, and I haven't had any time to write or edit the episode. In fact, I'm making this at 9:19 p.m., and I actually have no idea how much time I have to edit this. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.